It's just phenomenal. I'm just so proud that he's being recognized on the mall, because for me, America would not be America but for him. He forced America to live up to what it claims to be.
South Carolina seems to be the crossroads of politics and race in this country come every election cycle. In 2000, it was the controversy over the Confederate flag flying atop the state capitol. Now, it's the state's strict new voter ID law causing a backlash. The law, which passed but has since been blocked by the Justice Department, would require a photo identification to vote. Joining us, NAACP President and CEO Ben Jealous, who is in South Carolina today and spoke at a rally at the Capitol. Ben, it's nice to have you with me this afternoon. First, tell us about the South Carolina rally that you spoke at today. Explain to all of us what it was about.
Sure. We had thousands of folks there who were there to really push for this country to finally live up to what Dr. King's fought for, what Dr. King recalled for all of us, that our that our founding fathers' documents promised all of us, that this would be a country where we could all be one nation, that with justice for all, and we're not. And so that's, but the focus today was on this crazy voter ID bill that would make it so much harder for so many people here in this state to vote. We are very pleased that DOJ has stepped in. We are concerned that the state is filing a lawsuit seeking to gut Section 5 of the VRA. And we're also pleased, quite frankly, that Holder was here with us to speak to the crowd and to make clear that he intends to do across the country what he's done in this state, and that is to enforce our Constitution, enforce the Voting Rights Act, and ensure that all people can vote.
Talking about Attorney General Eric Holder, I do want to talk more about the Justice Department. They blocked the South Carolina law, but the state, they may take this one onto the court. So do you think that the voter ID law is going to be on the books officially by the November election?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, unless they are willing to make some real serious changes, I really don't see how this bill could go forward. It's such a blatant violation of the Voting Rights Act. It really, frankly, stands for, all the things that our country stands against. This is a country that believes in one person, one vote, that believes in free and fair voting. And the reality is that this law puts in place the first financial barriers to voting since we got rid of the poll tax. And what's worse is that the justification, which is the so-called voter fraud problem in this country, is really doesn't exist in any significant numbers. The Republican Lawyers Association did this big study, came out with this big release. They found 352 cases in 15 years. That's less than 24 cases per year across 15 years. And, we have prosecutors to handle problems that are that small. You are much more likely to find somebody who thinks that they saw a UFO last year than to find somebody who thinks that they saw somebody pretend to be somebody else to vote.
Right, with voter fraud. Let's talk, though, about Attorney General Eric Holder. He was there today to speak at this rally, and he spoke at great lengths about South Carolina's law and the voter ID laws in general around the country. I want to show everybody just a sample of what he had to say today.
The arc of American history has bent toward the inclusion, not the exclusion, of more of our fellow citizens in the electoral process. We must ensure that this continues, and this is my pledge to you today.
So as we talk about this, Ben, South Carolina is not alone. As you know, eight states have very strict rules about voting. 15 in all do require photos, and the Supreme Court has ruled that the law is legal so long as there a provisional ballot available. So despite the Attorney General's passion on all of this, isn't the courts where this sort of battle is typically fought, won or lost?
Look, I truly don't see them getting the 5 votes that they need on the U.S. Supreme Court to gut the VRA. The reality is that the Voting Rights Act was just reaffirmed by Congress, less than 5 years ago, and when it passed virtually unanimously. There's a long history that's been read into the record of the House and the Senate that made it very clear that we still needed this VRA, and George W. Bush signed it. So I think that it will stand. I think that this state will not be able to block voters in this way. What you couldn't see in that clip of Holder speaking was that the Confederate battle flag was waving about 30 feet from where he was giving his speech, directly in front of him. This is a flag that was hoisted up about 58 years ago in protest by this state to the Brown decision, that has flown ever since in defiance of federal control, in defiance of the Fed saying, look, you have to respect the Constitution. You have to respect the civil rights, not just of some of your citizens, but all of your people. And the reality is that this is just one more step by this state, which has tried to defy the U.S. Constitution so many times, to do it one more time.
The NAACP's Ben Jealous. Ben, nice to see you today. Thank you.